So welcome, my name is Judy Miller and I will be your host for the Campaign Builder Basics. It's my favorite webinar because I get to teach you guys how to automate with the Campaign Builder. If I'm going a little bit too fast, please communicate with me in that question box and let me know that I need to slow down. I get really super excited about the Campaign Builder. And also, if you have any questions, I will be answering them before the end of the webinar. You can always write me. On the first slide, you can see it says basic training at infusionsoft.com. You can always send me an email there and I promise to get the answer back to you. I may have to pause a couple times because I think I'm either getting a cold or I have really bad allergies right now. So bear with me and we'll get this started. By the end of this webinar, you will be able to create a lead capture campaign. I'm going to show you how to create a web form. We call it a web form, but you may know it as a contact us form or a registration form or a survey form. I'm going to show you how to create a sequence. I'm going to explain it so you understand the simple ingredients of a campaign, and then I'm going to show you how to get campaigns for free. So that's always awesome, is I love to give away free stuff. I want to introduce you to something. When you first go into the Campaign Builder for the first time right now, we have something new called the Strategy Guide. And the Strategy Guide is really cool because as soon as you click on Browse Campaign Templates, you're going to get a list of images that best describe your business, and you get to click on that and let Infusionsoft know what you want to work on. It's kind of like when you go to Home Depot and you go to the paint section and you pick, I want to do my living room, I want the natural colors, I want organic colors in the brown family, and it will only bring up those specific campaigns, and you'll be able to import those right into your Infusionsoft application. And we have step-by-step training on how to do it. So it's a really, really easy way to get campaigns that have to do with your industry that are already created for you for free. It's awesome. We have videos created. We have intros created on the very bottom so that you can see if that's the campaign for you. And we're really, really excited about it. So I hope that you guys will take advantage of that. You also have access to Infusionsoft's Help Center by going to help.infusionsoft.com. There you have access to our user guide, access to our tech support numbers, and if you click on the webinars tab, we even have access to more self-help learning with our mastermind webinars that are about I may be junior high, and that's college level and grad school. So you can go a lot further with those mastermind webinars for free inside of our Help Center, so you can take advantage of that too. Also, I'm going to be sending you this as a free gift. It's called the Campaign Builder Overview, but it's kind of like a technical writing document, 5 pages long with every single piece of the Campaign Builder. So how do I get back and navigate back to the campaign? What's a web form? What's a landing page? What's the difference? It's all in this document, and I'm going to be sending that to you for free for coming to my webinar. I'll be sending that along with the recording later this afternoon. So the Infusionsoft Campaign Builder. There's just 2 major ingredients that you need to know. Like when you're baking a cake, you need flour and you need eggs to mix it all together. Those are your staples. There's 2 major ingredients for our Campaign Builder. And the first one is a goal. A goal is what you want the contact to do. It's what you want the contact to achieve. And it's represented in Infusionsoft with a circle. We have lots of different goals. A web form is submitted. A landing page is submitted. A tag is applied. But the one we're going to focus on today is a web form is submitted. We're going to start our campaign with that goal of creating a web form. First ingredient is a goal. Web forms can be used for lots of different things, and that's why I chose web forms. They're our most popular. You can use a web form by taking the code and putting it on your website. You can use a URL in a Facebook ad. You can use a URL and make a bit.ly link and put that in a direct mailer or a postcard. And you can also send it as a link in an email. So there's lots of uses for this web form. It doesn't only have to go on a web page. I'm going to pause for a second just in case you want to write that all down. And I'm back. Let me just make sure you can hear me. Can you still hear me, Tom? Awesome. The second ingredient is a sequence. I can hardly hear you. Okay. So someone can hardly hear me. I'll turn up my volume, and then Corey said he can hear me. The second ingredient is a sequence, and a sequence is represented by a rectangle. When a goal is achieved, Infusionsoft will automatically push them into a sequence. A sequence kind of looks like a barbell with a clock in the middle. But there's lots and lots of stuff that can happen in the sequence, and I call our sequence the Disneyland of Infusionsoft because it's where all of the magic happens. In a sequence, you can send an email automatically. You can put in a timer and tell Infusionsoft to wait a couple days, send another email, and put in another timer and create a task. There's all sorts of stuff that can happen inside of this sequence automatically. It's magical. So if you know these two ingredients, you can make a very simple campaign. And if you add more and more of those ingredients together, you can make a more complex campaign. I know it sounds really simple, but it is, and I'm going to show you how to set up a really simple campaign today. And then once you get the ingredients, you're going to understand how to make more complex campaigns. So let me get into Infusionsoft and show you how it's done. Well, I sniff a little bit because I have allergies. It's very, very ragweedy in Phoenix right now, and I'll tell you what, it is really affecting me. So when I land inside Infusionsoft, I want to go to the Campaign Builder. So I'm going to hover over the Infusionsoft logo, come to Marketing, down to Campaign Builder, and click it one time. When you first open it, that strategy guide is going to appear on your top of your page. Also, you can come and browse campaign templates, and that will take you to our strategy guide. Those are the Betty Crocker recipes that are already made for you that you can go down the aisle and pick the brownies, pick the cake, already done for you with all the ingredients of the campaign and all the copy, etc. But we're going to make one from scratch so that you can understand how to create a campaign and how they fit together. So I'm going to come to the right-hand button that says Create a Campaign. It's in green, and I'm going to click that one time. And when I do, it's going to ask me to name my campaign. I'm going to name my campaign Get My Newsletter. It's always a good rule of thumb, I call it the Judy Miller rule of thumb, to name the campaign what it is. Because when you want to find it, it's best to know what that campaign's for. This is to get my newsletter, so that's what I'm going to call it. And this is new. You can select a category to add that to, and this is going to be called Lead Generation. And I'm going to hit Save. And once I do, it will bring us into this blank canvas, and I get to start creating my campaign. If you remember, the first ingredient is a goal. I hope you thought of that. So I'm going to come to the goals. I'm going to grab web form because I told you that's what we're going to focus on today. And you'll see that a little blue box appears underneath. And that's just asking you to name the goal. So you don't have a whole bunch of goals called the same exact thing. And I'm going to call this one newsletter sign up, because that's what it is. Now my goal is created. You can see that it's gray in color, and gray in color means that it's just the default goal. It's not set up yet. And now I want to create the foundation. So I'm going to put my goal, and I'm going to attach it to a sequence before I go build out the pieces. So I'm going to come up to Sequences, grab the sequence, move it onto my canvas. It's going to turn blue underneath saying name this. So I'm going to call this Welcome and More. Now I need to connect them. To connect two icons inside of the Campaign Builder, you simply go to the icon to the left, hover over it, a little green arrow will appear, and then I'm just going to take that arrow and move it into the sequence. If I want to delete it, I just hover over the arrow and hit delete. Let me move this over and just show you again. Hover over the icon to the left, hit the arrow, and move it all the way into the sequence. You can probably see it really well right there. I'm going to move this over. So I have my goal, and I have my sequence. Now I'm ready to start building it out. I have my two ingredients. Now I'm going to stir it up. I'm going to put my cursor over the icon that is the web form and double click. And when I do, because I chose the web form as my goal, the web form builder is going to open up automatically. And it's going to show up like this in default mode. Now I get to come in and change it. I'm in design mode. So I can come in and edit this form. The first thing I'm going to do is come to snippets, and I'm going to put a title in here. So I'm just going to drag the title, highlight it because it's in Latin, and I'm going to call it web form or newsletter sign up. Get my amazing newsletter. You can name it whatever you want. It also is butting up rather closely to my form. So I'm going to come to the snippets and grab a spacer, move it down, hit save. And now you can see there's some space between my title and my fields. Now this is something new. First name appears inside the field and email appears inside the field. So that's kind of cool. That's brand new. I've never seen that before. If you want to add more fields, come to the field snippet tab, and I may want their phone number. Grab phone, drag it down. This box will appear and I can get rid of phone 1. I can even change the label to cell phone. Hit save. And now you see it says cell phone number. Pretty awesome. Now some people always ask me on my Campaign Builder webinar, hey Judy, I'm in the financial business and I like to say Mr. and Mrs. Smith or Mr. Smith. I need their last name. Is there any way you can show me how to put in their last name? Awesome. Double click on first name because it's already there. Select last name, hit save, and now I have first name, last name, cell number, and email. Now, if you'd like to put some information, if this isn't going to go on your website and it's going to be on your Facebook or LinkedIn page, you can come to snippets and you can add an image if you want to and put in your logo. And you can even add a paragraph of information saying, hey, would you like to get more information about my consulting? Would love to help you out, etc., etc. But this would be for my website, so I'm just going to delete that content. And now I'm done with my form, except for the submit button. I have all the fields I want, but the submit button says submit, and that's very generic, and it doesn't pop out. So I'm going to double click the submit button, and when I do, the submit button builder will open up, and I can change submit to sign up now. Put in some exclamation points for my personality. I can change the alignment from left, right to center. If I toggle on advanced styling, I can even come to the background color of my button and I can make it a bright blue that matches my title. Hit OK. I can change the font. I can change the border and make it a little bit wider. I can make the corners round or not round, and I can even come to custom size and make it a little bit thinner. Hit save. And there's my button, and it is way too dark, so I'm going to change my font color to white. And there we have it, shows up way better. So now that my form is complete, my button's there, my content's there, my fields are there, I'm going to come up to the right-hand corner and let Infusionsoft know by toggling that draft button to ready that I'm done working on that form. You can always, always, always go back and check it, but for right now, I'm done with my form and I want to let Infusionsoft know so that I can visually look at my campaign and see, oh, I worked on the form already and it's ready. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to come to the Thank You Page tab. The Thank You Page tab is just to let people know that filled out that form successfully that they had a successful submission. You wouldn't believe how many times I filled out forms, 4 or 5 times, because I didn't know if it was successful or not. The Thank You Page is already created for you, and you just get to come in and edit it. So I'm going to put in my logo by double-clicking the logo and adding my own Infusionsoft logo. There's my logo. And now I can just change the content if I want to, but it's already set up for you. Thanks for filling out the form. We will contact you shortly. Click here to continue browsing. I can change whatever I want to change here. So I might say, you got it. And you can use your personality here. And then we will contact you shortly. I won't type it in, but I'm going to give you some tips. I would put in here, you should be getting an email from me shortly. If you don't, please check your spam folder or your promotions tab. If you're using Gmail, they have a way of sneaking in there. But my business is very whimsical. Yours may not be. So you may just want to make that a little bit more formal, but let them know what to expect. Click here to continue browsing. I'm just going to highlight that. You can say, check out my Facebook page, want to see my shopping cart, want to register for my next webinar, and you're just going to link it by clicking on the link tab and put in your URL. Insert update. So that's your thank you page. If you want to redirect them somewhere else, hey Judy, I already have a page that my developer made that I want to send them to. I really don't want to use Infusionsoft's thank you page. That's okay. Just come here under the design. It says thank you page display, and you can put in your own web URL to send them to a specific page that you want them to go to. You don't have to use our thank you page. The next tab is your settings tab. Your settings tab gives you the ability to be notified every time someone fills out this form. I'm going to start at the bottom. The email will say a web form was filled out, and I'm going to put for my amazing newsletter. You want to know what was filled out, so you're going to put that in the subject line, and you'll get an email every time somebody fills that out. Put my email address here. And if you want somebody else to get that same notification, letting them know that you have a new lead, put a comma and put their email address here. This is something new, and it's called spam bot detection. If someone fills out a form more than one time, a little button's going to appear that says I am not a robot, and they need to click that. If you don't want that to appear, just hit don't use the reCAPTCHA, and it won't bring that up. If you are getting too many new leads, which would be a great problem to have, and you're like, I don't want to be notified anymore, I'll just go check my dashboard in Infusionsoft, just get rid of the addresses here, and you won't get those notifications anymore. There's still other ways to check. You're just not going to get bling, 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 bling on your phone every 2 seconds. The last tab is your code tab. And I just want to make it clear, you don't grab your code until you publish your campaign, and our campaign is not published yet, it's just ready. It won't work until you publish your campaign. It will just show you that default form that we made. It won't bring up the changes, and we get calls and tech support all the time. I made this great form and it didn't work. You have to publish your campaign first. But I'm going to show you this page now because we're here. If you have a webmaster that's doing it for you, just click on Have Your Webmaster Do It. Put in their email address here. And then write in here, hey Tom, or hey Corey, or hey Mike, or hey Tiffany, can you get this on my website immediately? They don't need to be a user inside of Infusionsoft. We get, oh, I only have one user and my webmaster needs to become a user too? They don't. They'll get all the code they need just by you filling this out. If you're going to do it yourself, which is not scary, I have a whole webinar on it. If you want to watch it, it's only 6 minutes long. You can do it yourself. All you do is grab the code, come in and copy all the code. Wow, it copied everything. Copy all the code and then paste it on the page that you want it on your website, and that form will appear. You can use our JavaScript snippet. The biggest difference is if you use our JavaScript snippet and you change the form inside of Infusionsoft, so I don't like the colors, I want to change up my colors. As soon as I republish it, the JavaScript snippet will automatically make those changes. You don't need to go put the code back in there. But if you're using the HTML code or the unstyled code, you will have to re-put the code back on your website. So Tom just said, what's the difference between HTML code and the unstyled code? The biggest difference is if you use the HTML code, your form is going to look exactly like the form that you created inside Infusionsoft. If you use, it's going to look just like this. If you use the unstyled code and say my website or the theme I'm using is red, white, and blue, the unstyled code will design that form in red, white, and blue. The button may be red, the background white, and the text in blue. It will just style it based on the theme that you have inside of Infusionsoft. So it's always fun to use that one and see what it's going to look like. The HTML will look exactly like your form, and the JavaScript snippet sometimes doesn't work with the theme you're using, and that's why everybody doesn't always use JavaScript. I used the JavaScript once in the web form that I made, and it cut out the button, which is really bad because you need the button for people to be able to submit. So that's the biggest difference. So Judy, I don't even have a website yet. I'm just going to be using YouTube, and I'm just going to be running Facebook ads for the time being. What do I use? You would use our hosted version. And I'm going to show you an example of that before the end of the webinar, so remind me. The only difference between this web form URL and the pretty URL is I can edit the end of this to get my amazing newsletter. That's the only difference. You can use this or you can use this one. No big deal. To share this with your network is a little bit of a stinker, and I'm going to let you know why. If you click on share with Facebook, it's only going to go to your personal page and not your business page. So that's why I show the hosted version. That's what you'll want to use. And Twitter will go to any Twitter account. My daughter just made me make a Twitter account yesterday. So she said, Mom, you get all sorts of great information on there. So this can go to any Twitter account that you want. And I'm going to go back to my campaign canvas. And now you'll see that my web form is visually a different color, meaning that it's at a default mode. Since we only have 2 people on the webinar and we're doing good with time, do you have any questions about the web form to start out with? So Corey asked, is the webmaster someone who works for Infusionsoft? No, your webmaster will be somebody that you hire. Like we have people that go, hey, I work for Tutor Time and I have a webmaster and my webmaster deals with my website. How do I get him the code? Your Infusionsoft personal, getting started coach, they can help you, but I also have a video that I created that will show you how to do that on your website in 6 minutes or less. That's super, super, super easy. And Corey, if you need help, you can always email me. I'm always here for you, especially because you came to 3 of my webinars this week. So now we're like best friends. Now we're going to come to the sequence and build out the sequence. Remember, this is the Disneyland magic that happens. So I'm going to double click the sequence. It's going to bring me in my sequence builder. The sequence builder always starts with a start. And what that start is saying to you, Corey, and to you, Tom, is what do you want to automatically happen next? And if you've come to my webinars, you'll know that we organize our lists, or we know what group people belong to by tagging them. So I want to tag these people as my newsletter peeps. So I'm going to come to process, come to tag, and I'm going to apply a tag. It's gray in color, which means it needs to be set up. So I'm going to double click it, and I'm going to call this October newsletter list because I want to make a new tag to show you how to. So I'm going to call this October newsletter subscriber. Hit create, give them a category, categories prospect, apply category, hit save. Now my tag is created, and I know it's created because it's light green. Now I can go check for people that have the October newsletter subscriber tag, and I'll know exactly how many people signed up. What's the next thing I want to happen? Well, in the thank you page, I let them know you guys are automatically going to get an email. So I want to send them that welcome email automatically, immediately. So I'm going to come to communications. I'm going to grab email. The arrow is automatically going to appear, but if for some reason it doesn't, just go to the icon to the left, grab the arrow, and drop it right into that email. The bottom is blue in color. It wasn't because I deleted the arrow, but the blue in color means name this, because you don't want 75 of the same exact name of email. So I'm going to call this one, and you don't want them called untitled. I'm going to call this welcome. I'm going to spell it right. And it's gray in color. What does gray in color mean? It means it's not ready yet, so you got to double click it. I'm going to double click. And it will bring us into the gallery. So Tom, I don't know if you were my webinar yesterday, but Corey was. We're in the gallery. You can start from scratch, or you could have already created a template that you just want to drag in. I did. So I'm just going to come to my templates, and all my templates will appear. It got really cold in here, so I have to put my sweatshirt on. So Tom, I can send you the link to yesterday's webinar too, so that you'll have the email builder webinar. So I saved my email as a template. I'm going to come and find one email that I already have ready. It's this one right here. Hit use this. It brings in my email. I can edit anything I want to edit. I actually want to get rid of these. By hitting the delete. Once I'm done with my email, hit the draft to ready, go all the way back to the left, go back to our sequence, and now our welcome is green. Now I want to wait a few days because I know from all the marketing it takes about 5 to 15 touches before someone actually will do a call to action. And maybe I want to give them an offer, maybe on my 5th email, to offer them to come to a webinar, offer them to sign up for a webinar, or have them give me their address so I can send them a free book. So I'm going to add a delay timer. I'm going to double click the timer because it's gray. And I think I'm going to wait 2 days here and then hit save. I can either come over here and grab another email from my communications, but then I'm going to have to edit it. Or I can come here to the welcome I already have, make a duplicate of it, add it, change the title to more free stuff, and info, connect them, double click my email. It will be the same exact email that I already have in the welcome. Come and change what I want to change. Put in my links, put in anything I want to put in, hit ready, go back to my sequence by toggling all the way to the left. Now I have a tag automatically applied to the contact record. They're getting one email. Infusionsoft is waiting 2 days, sending off another email, and then I'm going to put in another delay timer on another, double click it. This time I'll wait 4 days and add another email. This is going to be an invite. Invite to my training webinars. Double click, add whatever I need to add, set it to ready, and now I'm going to go put in another delay timer. You can keep it going from left to right, or you can put it right underneath. I'm going to add another email. I'll put another timer, add another email, and I'm not going to have these as ready because I want to publish the campaign and test it out with you and then show you what happens to these. I have 2 days and 4 days, so 6 days before this next timer. I think I'm going to set this one up for a week. So I have 2 days, 4 days, and then a week before I even have to have this email ready. So I can wait and I can get this going, publish it, and start it out and start collecting my leads now. So I'm going to set my sequence ready by clicking on the draft button in the right-hand corner. Go back to my sequence. Now I have green and green, which means it's ready to be published. Now watch what happens when I publish. Infusionsoft is going to do a little check, and it's going to give me a little checklist. The first checklist was 3 elements are marked as not ready. We already know that, but let's check and see what they are. An untitled email, a delay timer, and an untitled email. No problem. I can do those later and republish, and the people will just be waiting in that 1 week holding tank, and as soon as that's published, they'll get that next email. Hit publish again. The checklist will show up. The most important part of this checklist is the last check that says Campaign passes functional inspection. And that means that everything that you have ready so far is going to function like you want it to function. So I'm going to hit publish, and Infusionsoft will publish my campaign. You'll know it's published because it will bring you into a different canvas, and this is our reporting canvas. You can learn more about this by going to help.infusionsoft.com and putting in campaign reporting. But I want to test this out and show you how it works, so I'm going to come up to the black toolbar right in the middle and hit the edit button. I want to add Judy Miller to this campaign. So I'm going to double click. And waiting for it to open. There's 2 ways to test this out. I can either come here to the test button and click on my name, or I can come to the code and click on the hosted version, which I'm going to do. It opened up my form. I'm going to put in my first name, and I'm going to spell it weird so you can see how the thank you page works. Put in my last name. Put in my cell phone. And put in my email address. Sign up now. Watch what happens with the thank you page. It has JJJUUUDDDIII because that's what I typed in that form. Let's go back out to our campaigns. And oh, look at here. There's one active contact. If I click on it, it should be Judy with 3 J's. It is. Let's go into the contact record and see what happens here. There's a phone number. There's the email address. Here's October newsletter subscriber. There's the tag that was added on October 5th automatically. If I scroll down a little further, I can click on the campaigns tab, and you'll see that newsletter sign up was done on October 5th. The hello and happy date of the week was sent on October 5th. A tag was applied on October 5th, all at exactly 10:32 a.m. It all happened at the same time. And if I come down to upcoming campaigns, more fun free stuff, an invite to training webinar, and then it's going to wait. Now I am signed up for other campaigns in here because I do this every week, but these are the 3 that I signed up for today. On the 9th, I'm going to get more free stuff, and on the 11th, or the 13th, I'm going to get invite to webinar, and then it's going to wait until the 20th, and anyone that's sitting in that little holding tank on the 20th will get that next email. So I want you to remember this one thing, keep my Halloween theme. Your simple one campaign is more important than your complex none campaign. Everyone tries to build out what's on the right before trying to test out what's on the left. And all that's on the right, if you really look at the ingredients, is a goal that pushes to a sequence, that pushes to a goal, that pushes to a sequence. And the way Infusionsoft is automatically set up is when someone reaches a goal, they go into the sequence. When they reach the next goal, it takes them out of everything to the left and pushes them farther on to the right. It's automatically set up that way. So if you have a goal and they go into a sequence and they reach the next goal, it takes them out of this part and moves them further on down the funnel. That's what we call it. So it's just kind of like a choo-choo train. If they reach the next goal, they get taken out of this sequence and it moves them further on down the funnel. It's very, very awesome, and it's already set up that way for you, so you don't even have to think about it. But you do need to feel comfortable what's on the left first before you start building out what's on the right, because we have people build out what's on the right and never quite get their publishing because they don't feel confident. Feel confident in the small campaign first, put yourself in it and test it out, then you'll start to be able to make those bigger ones. So my challenge for you, I have a challenge after every one of my webinars, build out a simple campaign, create and automate with the builder, publish it and put yourself in it, test it and see the magic happen, and then start all over again. And that's the magic of Infusionsoft. So these are my grandkids. This was taken yesterday, the Halloween theme. That's Everly and Bennett. And I'm going to go ahead and answer questions now, but I'm going to end this recording of the webinar so that I can get it started formatting for you, and I'll take your questions. So I'm just waiting for Corey to write his question, and while I do, I'm going to open up my desktop. I have a picture image that I can show you guys. I just have to find it. There it is. So this is a form that was created from an Infusionsoft user. The name of his company is called Chris Beat Cancer. There's a title, There's content. Let me get my highlighter. Title, content, first name, email, and he used something called radio buttons. So if they are a cancer patient, they go into one sequence. If they pick I'm helping someone, they go into another sequence. And if they go into I'm into prevention, they go into another sequence. And what happens is as soon as you put in a radio button in a form, Infusionsoft creates a decision diamond, and that decision diamond lets you make the rules for what area they go to. And then he just rounded the button, made it blue with white writing, and put in subscribe. So pretty cool. And that's a real form that's being used by one of our customers. Okay, let me get your question. If you're doing a monthly newsletter and you don't have next month ready, you don't. So here's how this campaign works that I've created. It's not automated. You can have all your newsletters in a campaign, but I wouldn't do that because you're going to have to put month-in timers. And if you forget to do your January one, people are just going to be sitting there. And after 30 days go by, there's something called the 7-day rule, and I have to send you the information on it because I don't want to get into it because it's really confusing. But inside of this campaign, we tagged them, and the tag we gave everyone was October newsletter subscriber. So I have a tag for everyone. Now I'm going to come back, and it's October 5th, so I'm going to send off my newsletter today. I'm going to come in, go into my contacts, and I'm going to search for everyone that has the tag. New search. I'm going to search for everyone that has my newsletter tag. October newsletter subscriber, search for everyone that has that tag, and then I'm going to come here and send off a broadcast just to this group of people. Only those people, I hit get started and I create my newsletter right there. So I'm not using my campaign to deliver my newsletters, but I can if I want to. You just have to make sure that before that day comes, you send off, get that newsletter created. This is a better way to do it because then you can write your newsletters and just send them off immediately. Corey, I was told it's better not to reinvent the wheel when it comes to building campaigns. Do you agree with that? Or is it better to build a custom campaign that fits our company? Well, Corey, we have so many campaigns inside of our template marketplace that you may be able to find one that's exactly what you need. And then you can go in and edit that to fit your business. So I would definitely go in and find one that fits your business. Like I want to sell online. I want to give a great offer or a coupon discount. Click on that one, get it installed into your Infusionsoft application, and then customize it to your business. So I would say to start there, it's a lot easier because it's already created for you and there's even copy in there that will really help you out. Let me open up one of mine. The one that I'm working on right now is the initial coupon and discount, so I'm working on the video for that one. And it starts with a form. It opens up to a sequence that applies a tag, sends one email, waits 5 days, sends another email, waits 5 days, sends another email, and they either buy it from your Infusionsoft e-commerce or you can tag them to move them further on down the funnel. And this is already done, so you can just come, I need to come in and just edit these emails. Double click the email, put in your banner, take a look at the copy and go, yep, love this copy. Add your banner. Put in your copy, put in your link to visit the store, hit ready, and then come back down. And I don't want to wait 5 days. I just want to wait 3 days. And you can come in and customize it to your business. So it makes it super, super easy because there's so many campaigns already in there. One is for sure, surely to fit your business, and you can just go in and edit it. It's kind of fun to make them by yourself to learn the ingredients because the ingredients will help you understand. Here's my holiday campaign. Goal, sequence. Double click the sequence. It applies a tag, sends off a welcome. 5 minutes later, it shouldn't be 5 minutes. I set that up for, put in a different timer. I can put in a date timer that I can actually send that out on Labor Day, send the next one out on Halloween, send the next one out on Christmas, the next one out on Thanksgiving, etc. So you'll see how it works because there's a goal and a sequence. And because we built it out, you know those ingredients, it's going to be a lot easier to understand the way the ones are already built out for you. You're going to go, oh yeah, I get this. This is super easy. So we have another question. Can you show us a complicated campaign you've built briefly to show us what's available? I don't know if I have a complex one in here. This is automate event registration. That's not complex. Let's see. I might be able to find one. And that's not it. Just take a look at these and see if any of these are. Nope, that one's pretty simple too. I know we had a really, really hard one in here. This might be it. Drum roll, please. There we go. So I'm holding my control key down, and then I'm going to right-click and move my canvas. So this starts out with a web form. I'm just right-clicking and holding my control key down. This starts out with either a web form or an internal form that's filled out. Then there's a delay sequence in here. And if you notice, it sends a HTTP post, so it sends a message, emails customer, waits 5 days, emails customer, assigns a coach. Once it assigns a coach, that decision diamond will appear. That decision diamond either puts people in one of these sequences, and then this decision diamond puts them into one of these other sequences based on what's in that decision. That also moves them out into a placeholder. That moves them into another decision diamond where we have different coaches' names, and based on whatever tag we give them, they'll go into that specific coach's sequence. And that's a very complex campaign right there. It has so much going on, but you can see what that looks like. It's just a goal that leads to a sequence, that leads to a goal, that leads to a sequence, that leads to a decision diamond, that leads to a sequence, that leads to a goal. I hope that that didn't freak you out. Let me see. Is the best support help through support chat? I would say the best help is through support chat. Now, if you do go to our strategy guide, there's a chat there just for that specific campaign. So if you're in the strategy guide and you pick initial coupon, you can click on a chat with a software expert, and a software expert will answer any questions that have to do with that specific campaign. Or you can go to just right inside Infusionsoft. Go to our help center and do that chat, and that chat will take you to tech support, and tech support will be able to help you. So if you want help on a specific campaign, you'd go to the campaign in the marketplace and click on the chat. If you want help with Infusionsoft or just a one-off question, you'd go to the help center and just click on chat. You can also call our support line and they'll help you too. So we have chat now or ask the community. They're all good ways to get help. And that campaign that I showed you, that is a very, very, very intense campaign. And here's what happens with it. It just gets so complex that if something breaks, it's super, super, super hard to find out where it broke. So I like to have smaller chunks of campaigns. Smaller chunks of campaigns. So there's one sequence. There's another sequence. There's another one. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 separate campaigns on one canvas that start with a goal, move to a sequence. Start with a goal, move to a sequence. When they reach the next goal, they go to the next sequence. This is easier to manage. I call the other one spaghetti because there's lines everywhere. If something goes wrong or if I need to change something, it is so much easier to come into one section of this instead of searching for it in that other campaign that I showed you. So I hope that makes sense. This one is much more manageable, especially if you get somebody new using Infusionsoft and you go, hey, can you go into the call number 4 scheduled and just go in and change one of those emails in the sequence? Oh, it's right here. That's super easy. I can do that. So that's my best advice I can give you. So thank you for being an Infusionsoft customer. Thank you for coming to the webinar. I'll have the recording for you. You can always email me at basictraining@infusionsoft.com to get the help you need and any other support that you need. I can find the help for you if I can't answer the question. And adorable grandchildren. Thank you, Tom. So Bennett was just born 8 weeks ago and Everly's 2. And she's a feisty little one at 2, but they're super, super fun. And I get to see him anytime I want to, so that's the best part of my life. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that I'll get to see you guys again, maybe at ICON that we're going to be having in June this year. It's going to be super nice in Arizona, probably 117, but super nice. And keep in touch with me at basictraining@infusionsoft.com. I'll send you the recording. I'll also send you the recording of the how to put that web form on your website. And let me show you my YouTube channel real quick to show you my form that I put on my YouTube channel, because I'm sure you guys would like to see it. So I don't have a website anymore because I was just doing it, as an example. So here's my basic training channel that you guys will have access to. And if you come here to marketing ideas, underneath there, I'm using the Infusionsoft hosted link to capture leads. So if you click on that, my hosted form will show up. And all this form is a image, content, a title. Those are my fields. There's my button, and I just put the border around it that's called dashed line, and I made the background green. And that's my form. It looks really cool. It looks like a coupon almost. Pretty cool. I made that all inside Infusionsoft, and it's hosted on my YouTube channel right there. So if you have a YouTube channel that lots of people go to, you can put a link right there automatically for free and start collecting leads with Infusionsoft. So awesome. And you guys have a wonderful day. It's Thursday. And so Thursday is kind of like my Friday because I don't have a webinar tomorrow. So have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend and hope to see you guys again. Bye-bye.